Hey folks, it's Sam. I'm making this video today for Guru Purnima, which is happening on Saturday or Sunday, June 20th and 21st. So it's actually, the Purnima happens about 2:40 a.m. Pacific on July 21st. Most likely it's celebrated on July 20th that evening as we have the Purnima, but I'm going to talk about that. It's in Capricorn. It's different where it's usually in Sagittarius and it's in Uttara Ashada nakshatra. So we're going to talk about what all those things mean, what the full moon is, what Guru Purnima is, Capricorn, Uttara Ashada. It'll be worth it for you to stick around and hear this important update. Please like the video. Clicking like helps a lot more than you know. It pushes the video higher in relevant video searches. Also, please leave a nice comment. Comments also help more than you know as it raises the video in searches. Many times with hundreds of likes, there are only a dozen comments and they can be disproportionately negative. So be positive. Let me know if you like this. Even just a few words really helps. So subscribe, ring the bell to get notified of upcoming videos. Yeah, it really helps. And this, I'm actually recording this today. I'm supposed to be in Albuquerque today. I'm recording this on Friday, July 19th, but my flight was canceled and I'm supposed to be with my guru right now. And so I'm, rather than sitting here crying my eyes out, I thought I'd make a video. So hopefully my flight will get me there tomorrow and I can be in her presence in Albuquerque. My guru is Amma the Hugging Saint. She's on a tour now of North America. And if you can, you should inconvenience yourself to meet an incredible being that you're not going to see in your lifetime. She came all the way from India to see us. But Guru Purnima is the full moon. Purnima means full moon of the guru, which is the teacher. And it's a, spiritual guru in this context. Not just like, some people call me a Jyotish guru, a teacher. That's not the same really as the Satguru, like a master. When you have that type of guru, that's really what Guru Purnima is meant to celebrate, because it's where we can really get the true meaning of the teachings. And the more pure and correct the teacher is and the teachings are, the more you can really benefit by connecting with the heart on that day. So that's really what the Guru Purnima is. It's one of the 12 full moons each year, but it happens in the month of Ashad, which means that usually that full moon is in the sign of Sagittarius. You see, it's very early Capricorn here, because in India, these dates aren't based on the Gregorian calendar. They're based on the Soli lunar calendar, which means full moons and new moons. Like most Indian holidays, this holiday is timed to a Tithi or lunar day. The new moon is often when we have ceremonies and celebrations, but the full moon also, particularly this one, Guru Purnima, this full moon is the one where we really get the message. And I pay attention when we have Purnima, again, which is usually in Sagittarius, but it's more of that inspiring, uplifting, guru's grace in that regard. But we also have the full moon on Guru Purnima that can happen in Capricorn like we have now. Now, this is different because this Guru Purnima, this one in Capricorn, is much more serious, focused. It's ruled by Saturn. Capricorn comes after Sagittarius, where it's not enough to just be inspired, which is what happens in Sagittarius, but we need to take those inspirations out of the realm of the abstract and bring them down into the concrete and work on them, concentrate on them, put them into practice, implement those teachings. It's one thing to be all inspired, and it happens a lot with these great gurus and even these great teachings. It happens even with me, with people, they want to learn astrology, and it's inspiring and uplifting, and that's great. It's inspiring, uplifting. Oh, it makes me feel so good to hear that, and da 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 da. But then we think, oh, but I could never really do it. Well, yes, you can. If you, first of all, you have to get a good system. If you actually wanted to learn it, not all gurus or teachers have good systems, but if you do find one, it's a good system, because if you do it and you apply the teachings, you'll get the results. And that's what Capricorn is. That's how Capricorn comes after Sagittarius. It's very easy to just be inspired by something. It's the easiest thing in the world. And, particularly a being like my guru Amma, the hugging saint who sits there and hugs people, and and there's such an uplifting, what's called sattvic, high vibrational environment, that it's very easy to just go there, be inspired, and, have it, shift your perspective for a time being. But then we go back to our regular life and it wears off. It's like it hangs on, it lingers for a while, but then we get back to the drudgery and hard work of life again, which is Capricorn energy. And then we forget the teachings. The teachings are like, oh, okay, yeah, I was so inspired then, but now life is this way. And we tend to vacillate between things. Like we go spend time around it being like Amma, we're inspired, then we go back to our life and we're back to our problems, our difficulties, our struggles, and we kind of leave the teachings behind. No, you're supposed to bring the teachings with you and put them into practice and be willing to concentrate and work hard and sacrifice for that. So this is the real key to spiritual development in this regard. It's not just about being inspired and finding good teachings and thinking, oh, that really shifted something. Again, it shifts things for a day or two, but it's just like if you go to a festival and you feel inspired for a couple days and you get back to your life, or a kirtan concert, or even you go to church or something, but then you get back to your life and you have to put the teachings into practice. And so again, this Guru Purnima is that emphasizes that practice part, that stress, difficulty, pressure that comes after the good feeling. Okay, now you're back to your life. Now you need to actually work on those things and actually do those things. I talk about being around Amma like it's a great, beautiful thing. It is, but most people can't do it for very long because it's also really hard. Because over time, sitting in front of all that truth reflects back on you and all of your untruth. And it gets hard to bear. That's why people will often have their 1 day, maybe 2 days of feeling good. And then by around the second day, they want to kind of run away from it because the ego wants to run away from it. Because sitting in the light of truth, sitting around great masters, the ego gets pressured. And it challenges our ignorance, our preconceptions, and it's difficult because, again, even with Amma programs, and again, with any authentic gurus, they challenge you. Again, she's a lovely, beautiful, being, but you listen to her talks and they're full on Vedanta. It's like, just calling out the ego and calling out our flaws and mistakes and foibles. And, for those people on my email list and who follow other some of my other social media, I've been sharing some of the stories that comes when you're in front of a master. And again, the first day or so, these stories, they remind you of something. That then by the third or fourth day, it starts to really sink in. No, she's talking about me. It's my ego. This is what I do. And I'm just as bad as these people in these stories. My ego is totally wrapped around everything. And the reason I'm suffering is because I might have these big flowery ideas about who I am and how spiritual I am and what I really know. But underneath it all, I'm just a bunch of scars. Like, for example, she tells a story about there was a king. I just recently shared this one. There was a king who loved to take walks around his kingdom. Again, this is a great Guru Purnima story. Loved to take walks around his kingdom barefooted but he would always step on these stones and thorns and rocks because, you know, bare feet, you could feel the, you know, thorns sticking your feet and things like that. And so he told his minister, by tomorrow, I want to have the whole kingdom carpeted. I want there to be carpeting around the whole kingdom so I don't have to step on these sticks and stones. And the minister was like, oh, okay, I'll get right on that. And they were like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? How are we going to carpet the whole kingdom? And then someone said, some, you know, sort of lowly servant had the courage and stepped up and just said, well, sir, why don't you just wear a pair of sandals or a pair of shoes? Rather than trying to carpet the whole kingdom, put on a pair of sandals or a pair of shoes. And the king was like, oh, that's a great idea. And then wondered why no one around him had told him that, right? And again, this is an example of like our ego and how we walk around like we're the king of everything. And instead of putting forth any effort for ourselves to like pad our existence, we kind of go around. Our ego goes around as if everybody and everything should be on alert so that we don't step on any sticks or says, oh, you offended me. That offends, this offends, everything offends us. And we won't do one thing. We won't even put on a pair of sandals. We just expect all of the thorns and stones and sticks to just kind of magically disappear. Our ego is like wanting the kingdom to be carpeted so we can just kind of walk through like every little stick and stone that we step on. We're like, oh, you know, it takes nothing. We're so sensitive. And again, it's very easy, you know, the first day or so to hear this and be like, okay. But then again, one of the things when you're around a great being is you're also in that environment and you're getting all of this stimulation and you're seeing yourself act this way. Because it's still you there. It's still your ego there and your jealousies and envy and irritation and this and that. And you sit there, listen to Amma and she's so beautiful or whatever, but then the person next to you gets on your nerves like that and you're not spiritual at all. So you start to see over time how these things show up. That's one quick example, but then you just start to have reverence and respect and appreciation for the fact that these great teachers and gurus are there. In the case of Amma, she came all the way from India. She hasn't been in the US since COVID. So we're like kind of dying for it, right? So this full moon in Capricorn, this Guru Purnima, mostly celebrate, you know, again, the actual Purnima happens about 2:40 a.m. Pacific on the 21st, but the Purnima Tithi is mostly tomorrow. I'm recording this on Friday. It'll be on Saturday, July 20th. So again, that most auspicious day to get the deeper message from your guru's teachings is Guru Purnima. So if you can be in the presence of your guru, that's the place to be, and or put into practice those teachings and really feel the love in your heart and the devotion, because that's what the full moon is. It's where we're meant to just be connected to deeper devotion, not just a lot of emotional triggering. And the nakshatra here is Uttara Ashada, the deeper connection to silence and peace is there. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But before I do, I also want to let people know, as you can see, there's a thing that says samsmembersite.com, and I'm going to put a link underneath here. But as you can see, there is an opportunity for you to understand what this full moon in Capricorn means for you and your sign as part of the member site. You can actually get that at the $9.99 level. A lot of people are members, and particularly for these full moons and new moons, it's very powerful. Beneath this video, you see there's a join button and a subscribe button. Of course, subscribe to the channel, but when you click join, you're going to get access to the fastest growing Vedic astrology community on YouTube. You can see daily forecasts, weekly forecasts, and a lot of special videos that the members get. Again, it's very easy. All you do is you click join beneath the video. Most people get the Oracle 5D avatar level. It's less than $1 a day. You can stay connected. Tons of free videos that you get now, but also each week. again, you can see all of the videos that you get where I do a Vedic forecast, a regular forecast, members only content. But again, it's very easy. Just click join and the pop-up. Yeah, so at the $9.99 level, you can also get this Guru Purnima video for your sign. I'm going to be doing that right after I do this video. So that'll be up on July 19th for you. And again, it's very powerful because if you're, like for example, I'm Gemini, so it's in my 8th house, right? That's very different than if you're Aries and it's in your 10th house, right? For example. So these qualities of Guru Purnima are really powerful. And talk a little more about Saturn, then we'll get into Uttara Ashada, Saturn and Capricorn. But again, Saturn and Capricorn, it's not just about that hard work and concentration, but it's also that humbling quality and that reverence and that even a little bit of suffering and longing and difficulty that you're willing to endure for the guru and the teacher. I frankly, I'm feeling some of it today because the obstacles of having a flight canceled, and I'm here wondering whether or not I'm going to even be there tomorrow. Hopefully I will. Hopefully the planes will get there tomorrow. But if not, then I'll have to deal with the separation and I won't be able to go. But so again, this is also Saturn, that obstacle, that difficulty, that kind of suffering brings a longing and a greater respect and appreciation for something that you've worked for. You see, when you've worked for something, you appreciate it more. Because it's not just something that has fallen out of the sky. Like if somebody gives you $1 million, okay. But if you earn it yourself, there's so much more. It's so much richer because it's been a product of your own efforts. And so again, this nature of Capricorn also shows that respect and reverence and the recognition of the sacrifice that the teachers make on your behalf, that they do sacrifice. You can tell if it's a great guru in your life, a great teacher in your life, if something about what they've given you, you feel like you can never repay. We tend to take God's grace and Guru's grace for granted. Even to say the word grace, we don't even really know what it is. But it's just the luck or the feeling that, what did I do to deserve this? Like, this is just God's grace flowing. Like, how did I ever get so lucky to run into this person or this teacher who completely shifted my perspective in a way that I could have never imagined, and it's a debt I could never repay, right? And again, that's how I feel about my Guru Amma. Like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, how did I ever fall into meeting this being? My life would have been amazing, but to have met a being like that and to see that example is something that it's a debt I'll never be able to repay, and I'm so humbled by that. So again, this is a big difference between Sagittarius and like, oh, I'm so inspired and and I'm just so humbled and grateful. And the devotion with Saturn and Capricorn is maybe deeper than any other energy. You have to understand this about Saturn, is it's really where ultimately we're the most sensitive, because we've been the most humbled. We've been beaten down the most. And wherever we've been beaten down the most, it's where we're also the most sensitive to others who have been beaten down, so to speak, and reverent for anyone who has thrown us a lifeline. So it's a huge energy shift. And so notice this reverence and sense of appreciation and sensitivity on this full moon. Now, Uttara Ashada, nakshatra is the first part of Capricorn, and it's the part that starts in Sagittarius and then goes into Capricorn. So, of course, as I always reiterate and state, Vedic astrology is, of course, based on the actual sky. Sidereal is a Greek word, but it's the actual sky and the 27 portions of space that surround the Earth, which is called the ecliptic. And those nakshatras orient the space first, and then the zodiac signs lay over top of the 27 nakshatras. So we start Aries and Ashwini is at the beginning, and then you lay over 27 nakshatras and 12 zodiac signs overlay. So when you reach this point in space where you get to be at 4 degrees of Capricorn, you have Uttara Ashada nakshatra, and right at the beginning, or that nakshatra bridges from 20 degrees of from 2640 of Sagittarius to 10 degrees of Capricorn, right? And so this is where Sagittarius becomes Capricorn. And again, this is the thing that you absolutely should understand about the nakshatras and their connection to the zodiac signs, is the nakshatras that bridge the zodiac signs show the components of each sign. So again, Uttara Ashada nakshatra shows where the inspiration and purpose of Sagittarius becomes the commitment, effort, and hard work of Capricorn. And when we do that, it's a guaranteed victory. Our victory is guaranteed. That's what Uttara Ashada means. Later guaranteed victory. It starts with our teachings and whatever it is that's inspiring us. And whatever it is that's inspiring us, which is Sagittarius, we're going to work on and concentrate on and commit to in Capricorn. And that's going to be what's victorious. Now, if our teachings are bad, but that's still what's inspiring us, then we're going to be victorious in some way that's difficult in our life. And this is really what happens. Many times the things that inspire people are things like money and fame or other kinds of things. And so if that's what's inspiring us in Sagittarius, then that's what we're going to commit to and concentrate on and try to develop in Capricorn. But then eventually it's going to fail. So when we install good teachings, dharmic teachings, and then we commit and concentrate on those things, then that's what becomes victorious. And so Uttara Ashada, the deity, are the Vishwa Devas, which means the universal gods. Gods just means energies, energetic forces, powers. And those Vishwa Devas are things like karma, kala, kama, dharma, these universal principles of action, truth, which is dharma, action is karma. Kama is desire, kala is time, doing things for a long time. So our commitment to these things, when we desire truth and wisdom more than just pleasure, when we make a commitment to those things over time, when we do those actions and put forth those efforts, then that's the fruit that will be born on that tree of our life. And so this full moon, this Guru Purnima in Capricorn in Uttara Ashada has that quality of this deep reverence for our teachings, the capacity and our teachers, and the deep sensitivity and gratitude that for those hard-won victories that the Guru has helped us achieve, where we are almost where we feel almost like it's a debt we could never pay. Well, first of all, great teachers don't expect you to pay the debt. But where we have so much gratitude for the teachings that have come from the great gurus, and where we're humbled by it, and where we definitely especially recognize their hard-fought battles on our behalf as well. This is what I have been feeling even since my time with Amma, is seeing how she's getting older and her body breaks down. Again, it's a debt I could never repay that she has, the discomfort that she endures on our behalf, the service, the sacrifice, the effort. Those things are very much triggers on this Guru Purnima. And when we imbibe in that reverence, then our victory over darkness is assured. So I hope this was helpful for you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.